Welcome, everyone, to our birthday celebration midweek exhale. I'm so pleased to have you here and super pleased that we've made a year. How amazing is that? A year of taking a pause in the middle of the week. Um, my name is Sharyn, and I am one half of the Exhale Awakening. Over to either my left or right, depending on the screen setup, is Marie, who is the other half of the Exhale Awakening. And we we developed and created the Midweek Exhale to give a pause, to give a time of quiet in the middle of the week. So maybe you've been super busy this week and you've been like you haven't had time to stop, you've been running at full speed, and this is just a little break to help you to reset, to help you to kind of allow the breath to revive you as we go into the rest of the week. And that was always our thought around this, um, that we just wanted to be a rest. We wanted to be a gentle rest in the middle of the week. So we always have, or we have a similar shape to our sessions. So we offer four breathworks in each session, and we have birdsong at the beginning of the breath style, and we have silence at the end of the breath style, and then obviously the breath in the middle. And all three of those things together create the medicine that we are offering as the Exhale Awakening. That way of being is kind of our signature, and it runs through everything that we do. These midweek exhales, but also our longer breathwork sessions as well. So the breaths that we're going to do this evening, we are going to do some. First of all, we're chosen by people in the community. So we put out a tell us your favorite last week, and people wrote into us and told us what their favorites were, and we've put them together in a medley. So we are going to start with awareness as we usually do, and we're going to do some vagus nerve massage, and the vagus nerve just around the ear at the top of the just sits kind of just in front and just behind the ear. So we're going to invite you to do that during the awareness. And as for do it both sides, it's a little difficult for me with the mic there. So both sides. So that's our first breath. We're then going to go into a gentle nose conscious connected breath, which Marie will go through, and we're going to introduce into there some lung stretches, or as I call them, this was the first breath I ever came across, the spiritus breath. So the word for breath and spirit is the same in Latin, spiritus. So this is the spiritus breath. Then we're going to go into the triangle breath, and we're going to do an inhale, an exhale, and a hold. So that's the shape of our triangle, not the downward one. We're going to do the inhale, exhale, and the hold. And then we're going to finish with coherence and finger tracing. So we're going to bring our hands into the breath. And Marie again will talk you through that one. Now, we only have one rule here at the Exhale Awakening, and that is to be comfortable. So make yourself physically comfortable. Take care of your physical well-being. Kind of move around if you need to move around. Adjust throughout the breath work if you need to adjust throughout the breath work. The only thing that we would ask you not to do is to stand up quickly. So you are in your homes. If something happens, you need to get the door, you need to go and see someone, then just be very gentle in how you get up. Any kind of breath work has an impact on your equilibrium. We're bringing consciousness to our breath. We're not breathing unconsciously. We're changing our breath patterns. And you just need to be careful when you stand up in case you're not quite steady on your feet. Now, saying that we want you to be comfortable is good and well, and we do. We will never, ever ask you to push through. We will never, ever ask you to go beyond to go beyond the edges of your comfort zone. But we do invite you to those edges. So this is breath work, and it's inevitable when we do breath work that we encounter parts of ourselves that perhaps we don't meet very often. So there might be some emotional discomfort as things arise. There might be some physical discomfort, maybe some cramps or things like that that you feel as you are doing the breath. And we invite you to sit with them. We invite you to meet with them and just spend some time in kind of almost in conversation with whatever is arising for you. Um, at the same time as reiterating that if it doesn't feel comfortable for you, or if you don't want to meet it tonight, or whenever you're listening to this on the recording, then that's absolutely fine. You can just return to your natural breath. You can take a rest from the invitations that we are giving you and return back to your comfort zone. The most important thing with this is that you find this restful and restorative. That's what we're looking to be, that's what we're looking for you to be able to do in our session. So the silence and the bird song just before we start are help us to regulate our nervous system. So they're just as important part of the medicine as the breath is. So the bird song, from a primal perspective, we know that when the birds are singing, there are no predators around. Because the first thing that happens when there is a predator in the area is the birds go quiet and or disappear. And our brain still recognizes that. So just allowing the bird song to be there in the background is enough to give you the indication that there are no predators here. It's okay. And the silence, as well as allowing us to settle into our nervous system, it also allows us to build new neural pathways, which I think is amazing. I'm very happy to have my brain firing on more cylinders than perhaps it has been doing because I'm now engaging with silence. Okay, so I think I've covered everything off there. I got a little nod. I've got a little nod from my pal who's listening, which is great. So make yourself comfortable. I'm going to invite you to do this breath either seated or lying down. I know I love that story about the birds too. It's like it makes me smile every time I tell it, and I tell it every week. It's 52 weeks old, and I still tell it, and I still love it. Um, so yeah, make yourselves comfortable, either seated or lying down. If you are seated, just make sure that you are supported. You know, this is restful. We don't need you to be in a don't need you to be in a fixed pose. It would be great if you could just be supported and lie back. And just allow the breath and the bird song and the silence to work its magic. So just first of all, bring your attention to your breath. Notice how fast your breath is. I've just been speaking at 100 miles an hour. Maybe your breath is sped up too. But just allow it to settle. Notice whether you're breathing through your nose or through your mouth. And if it's available to you, just bring your breath in and out through your nose. No need to change the rhythm or the tempo. Just allow your nose to help you on this journey. And notice where the breath is landing in your body. Maybe it's at the top of the chest. Maybe you can feel your shoulders moving up and down as you breathe. Maybe it's a little bit further down into your mid-chest, around your heart area. Or maybe you can feel it right at the bottom of your ribs. You can feel your ribs moving outwards, left and right, as you expand your rib cage. Just noticing that. Maybe notice what else is going on in your body. Do you feel like you need to move and adjust? Have you got areas of tension and you can move a little and let that release? Or maybe it doesn't release. Maybe the tension is there and perhaps you can meet it throughout this breath work. Perhaps as you're scanning your body, you're noticing your breath, you might be questioning whether you're doing it right. There might be other questions that are meandering around your mind. And you might spend some time now just observing those. You don't need to engage. Of course you might do, and if you do, that's fine. But maybe you could just watch them pass like clouds moving across the sky, or I like to think of them as a train pulling away from a platform. Just let the thoughts move on. But no pressure, no pushing, just awareness. You might notice whilst you're doing all of this scanning of your thoughtscape and your bodily sensations that you also have some feelings that you're traveling with. Perhaps the week has been frustrating, or perhaps there's some sadness, or even some joy or some excitement. If there was a feeling there, what would it be? And don't push or pull for it. It'll come or it won't. That's okay. And we're here for a couple of more minutes in this space of awareness and noticing. And during this time, I just invite you to gently massage the vagus nerve, the front and the back of your earlobes. And you don't have to do it for the full 2 minutes. You don't have to use both hands, but you can. And just feel how that feels, just to massage in that area. Adapt the pressure, adapt the speed. Your vagus nerve is the wandering nerve. It goes all over the place. That was technical, wasn't it? And it's just giving your brain and your nervous system the message that everything's okay. At least for now, in this moment, everything's okay. Just allowing yourself to sink now into the silence.
And allowing the birdsong to wash over you as it brings the silence to a close. And maybe just reflecting on what that silence held. Maybe it felt like just a blink, and maybe it felt very long, and either's absolutely perfect. And for our second breath style in this session, we're going to breathe a very gentle, conscious, connected breathing. And I'm going to invite you to leave anything you know about conscious, connected breathing to one side. Because we're going to breathe in and out through our nose. And we're going to make our inhale slow and long. We're going to still bring it deep into our belly, but we're going to do it slowly. We're not going to pull on the inhale. We're going to take a gentle inhale, and then we're just going to let the breath slowly fall out. No effort of any kind. So we're going to keep our focus on the inhale, but we're not going to pull on the inhale. And while you're breathing, I'm going to invite you every now and again to stop, and we will do one of those spiritus breaths, one of those lung stretches, and I'll guide you through it when we come to it. So for now, if it's available to you, breathing gently in and out through your nose. And bringing that breath to the very bottom of your lungs. You don't have to fill your lungs, but just bringing the breath to the bottom of your lungs. And then gently connecting your breaths so that there's no gap at the top of the inhale and there's no pause at the bottom of the exhale. Keeping your breath very gentle, very soft. We're going to pause from our connected breathing and we're going to do a spiritus breath or a long stretch. So at the end of your next exhale, just pause for a moment. And then gently begin to breathe through your nose, this time filling your lungs. And when you get to the top and they're full, taking a pause, allowing them to relax, and then taking another sip of air. And then very slowly letting the air out through your mouth or nose, but very controlled. Might help to let it out through pursed lips, like you're blowing through a straw. And when you get to the bottom of that exhale, just going back to your gentle nose connected breathing. Keeping the breath soft and gentle, but keeping them connected. And again, we're going to do another of the spiritus breaths. So when you get to the end of your next exhale, just pausing. And then beginning to inhale and filling your lungs. And when you get to the top, just pausing again. And then taking another sip of air. And then very slowly and very controlled, letting the air out. Slowly as you can. And then when you get to the bottom, just going back to your gentle connected breathing. Keeping your focus gently on the breath. And if you find yourself being distracted, just gently bringing your attention back. And if you feel like it, I'm going to invite you to do one more of the spiritus breaths. So again, pausing at the bottom of the exhale, and then beginning to inhale, filling up your lungs. When you get to the top, pause, take another little sip of air. Pause again, maybe another little sip. And then letting it go very slowly. And then going back to your connected breathing for the last 30 seconds. And as the music begins to fade, getting ready to rest again in the silence.
And as the birdsong brings that silence to a close, just taking a moment to reflect. Reflect on how the breath felt, reflect on how the silence felt. And in this next breath segment, we're going to breathe with the triangle breath. So I'm going to allow you to set your own pace. So remember our rule, no pushing, nice and comfortable. But I'm going to invite you to inhale, to exhale, and to gently hold. And whatever pace you set, try and match the length of your inhale with your exhale. but allow your pause to be as long or as short as feels comfortable to you. And you might imagine in your mind one side of the triangle moving up on the inhale, one side of the triangle moving down on the exhale, and the pause joining them at the bottom. Before repeating, inhale, exhale, and hold. So just trying a breath. Inhale, exhale, and hold. And spend the first part of this track just finding your rhythm. Lengthen the breath, lengthen the hold. Shorten the breath, shorten the hold. Noticing whether you're breathing through your nose or through your mouth, and adapting if you can to breathe through your nose. Inhale and exhale. Enjoying the gentle rest at the bottom of your exhale with empty lungs. And on the inhale, filling your lungs in all directions, front, back, side to side. Then gently letting go on the exhale. And pausing and resting at the bottom. moving into the last minute now, so 2 or 3 last triangles before we move into the silence. On your next exhale, just letting your breath return to its natural rhythm and prepare to rest in the silence.
And as the birdsong begins again, just again taking a few moments to reflect on that silence. Maybe noticing, have all the silences felt the same? Maybe they've all felt very different. And for our final breath style, we're going to begin by doing some finger tracing. So and you can do this with your eyes open or closed. You can actually watch what you're doing, or you can just focus on the feelings. So take the finger of your dominant hand. For me, that's the finger of my right hand. And put it at the base of the thumb of your other hand. And with every inhale, we're going to come to the top. So first the top of the thumb. And then with the exhale, we're going to move back down. And then the inhale all the way to the top of the pointer finger. And with the exhale, back down. I'm going to continue that the whole way. Inhaling as you move up the finger and exhaling as you come back down. And when you get to the base of the little finger, starting again, coming back. And do this at your own pace, but really try and feel the connection of your finger with your hand and try and match the breath and the movement. in as you move up. Exhaling as you come back down. And just noticing, are you taking a pause when you get to the top and the bottom? Or are you not? And either is absolutely perfect. And maybe if you've been looking at your hands and your fingers, closing your eyes and doing it with your eyes closed. And maybe that hand's getting tired and you want to move it to the other hand. And if you do, at the end of your next round, just swapping hands. Doing the exact same thing on the other hand. Feeling that connection, feeling that gentle touch. And noticing as you do it, noticing your inhale and exhale. Maybe gently trying to bring them to the same length. And again, if you feel your hands getting tired, you can either swap hands or you can let the hands fall and just keep your breaths balanced. Really connecting with that touch, that gentle touch on your hand. Maybe if you have taken a break for the last 90 seconds or so, beginning again at the base of your thumb. Keeping your focus on the breath and on the sense of touch. And when you get to the end, either the little finger or back to the thumb, just allowing your hands to rest on your lap. And just taking a few nice balanced breaths. As we prepare to go back into the silence to rest.
And as the birdsong begins, the final time in our birthday celebration, midweek exhale, just allowing the sound of the birds to wash over you. Just a short period of reflection before we have to think about bringing in some gentle movement, bringing in some awareness of the space around you and the space and time that you're occupying right now in this body. Maybe you might stretch, maybe you might yawn. Perhaps you might gently blink your eyes open and just take a look around the room that you're in, noticing the colours and the textures. And beginning to prepare yourself to focus once again on the Zoom room that we're occupying together.
And as you slowly come back, I'm going to draw your attention to some links and notices that we have in the chat. The recording of this session, like the recordings of all our sessions, will go on YouTube. And the link to the YouTube channel is there. And if you do find us on YouTube, likes and subscribes really probably delight me more than they should, but they do. There's also a link there for our Exhale library, where we also put the recordings. Um, and it's free to the tier one in the Exhale library is free to join. And there's all sorts of resources. There's breath resources, there's posts in tier one in the library, and you're very welcome to click that link and join. And if you're watching on YouTube, the rest of the links will be below. And if you're in the library, there's an events tab where all of the events coming up are, and you can get links and all there for joining. We do 2 monthly breathwork sessions in every month, obviously. One of them's a 2-hour session, and it's called Anchoring the Exhale, and it's breathwork and seasonal astrology. And it's held on the fourth Friday of each month, which happens to be the day after tomorrow. So we're breathing with Taurus on Friday. And then on the second Sunday of each month at 6 o'clock in the evening, we do our 3-hour online mini retreat where we journey with the Celtic trees. So, and there's breath work in that, of course. And the link is there for booking all the things. And also on our booking page, our retreats are there. And our first retreat is in Yorkshire. It's in York, and Hawk Hills in York, at the beginning of June. So we'd love to have any of you at the retreat, and the link for that is there, and you get more information on all the sessions there. And then we have our directory listing, which is our breathing space directory. And if you want to contact us and you're not in our community, you can contact us there. And equally, you can leave a review if you enjoyed this and you feel like leaving us a review. And we have an extra notice in this session because we have a birthday gift for some of you as well. And our birthday gift is a year of free access to the monthly breathworks that I've just talked about. And it's usually for access to both, and that's access to the live session, but also the recordings. And there's a PDF that goes with each session. And it's usually £44 a month, but we're giving away a free year's access to someone. So if you're interested in that, please just drop us an email, a message today, because we are drawing this tomorrow. So drop us a message today, this evening after the session, just letting us know why you'd like to join. And we're going to put all the applications, anybody who's written to us, the names are all going into a hat, and we're just going to draw one out. So if you're interested in that, yeah, you need to do that this evening, and whoever gets the free access will be able to join us on Friday for our journey with the Taurus. Oh, we're 3 subscribers away from 100 in YouTube. Yay. And I know in the world of YouTube, that's not a big thing. In the world of the Exhale Awakening, that's huge. So yeah, it's all about how you look at it. So the final thing I have to say before I put off the recording is take care of yourself. You know how to take care of yourself. Drink plenty of water and surround yourself with good people. Do things you like. Be gentle. Because even though these sessions are very gentle, that doesn't mean that they're any less powerful. The breath does magical things, whether it's gentle or not. So yeah, just be very gentle with yourself, and hopefully we will breathe with you soon.